Okay, well
You're
let's keep it PG enough so that way you don't get banned from Twitch.
No, that's what we call
still asking
sensible.
too much.
You're asking way too much here.
Oh, I know. I'm asking basically for the impossible, but hey, no harm in trying.
Right?
Much harm in trying.
Much harm.
Okay, who's gonna fall over dead just because they can't cuss?
Me.
Oh no.
We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. All right. Allow me to get a couple of things sent out, and we shall be on our way.
Let us hope that I survive on these 4 hours of sleep that I have.
You'll be fine.
And probably not. We'll see.
If you aren't, I'll come over and I will skull fuck you.
Jesus.
I love that you said that on stream. Good job.
I meant what I said.
Oh my
Oh, no,
god.
This makes me worried. I've not felt so worried in my life. Actually, no, I have. Because game exists.
Alright. And so, I believe, if we don't have any further ado, we shall be getting into tonight's game, or today's game, tonight for some of you here being on false time zones, such as the Europeans.
Nothing like D&D at 3 a.m.
I mean, no, it's 9 p.m.
It's not that bad
Close enough.
yet.
Close enough for government work.
I
Alright.
For us, 3 a.m. is probably just gonna be teamfight tactics, isn't it?
I don't know.
Probably.
I'm probably just gonna like vibe in Monster Hunter or something. Given my
Alright.
recent records.
If we are good to go with checks all around, streams up, and everybody else is good to go, yes?
Yeah.
Alright. We have. So today we will be missing our lovely and rather rambunctious. Wow, that's actually going to impact the fight quite a bit. We're going to be missing our financially stable Ryoka of the Way of the Drunken Fist. However, still bearing with us today, we do have Clyde managing to be a somewhat wakeful zombie, even though they will remain pretty much asleep through the entirety of the session. But we love them nonetheless. However, we do have our Captain, my Captain.
Greetings and salutations.
We have our glow stick elf. Come on, Volos. That's you.
Oh wait,
Fellas.
I'm the glow stick? What?
There you go.
I think
he finally responded.
You're mixing up titles now. The glow stick is the Dragonborn.
What?
No. He is just no. He is the glow stick elf, and then the Dragonborn is just glow stick. He is the creator.
Wait, how am I a glow stick though? I don't glow.
You did before. You have
When? When?
Don't question me.
We will
What the-
question you always.
Never. We also have our amazing and almighty and powerful glow stick creator.
Thought he was just glow stick.
He is now the glow stick creator. I've gone back. We then have Bard number 1. Fine. Bagpipes.
Thought I was bucket.
Well,
my
it
God.
changes from day to day depending upon how I'm feeling about you.
We just need
I
a
will
potential list of
polymorph
what the
you
heck our
into a
nicknames are.
bucket. I will turn you into a bucket if I have to.
We then have our lovely, lovely bard number 2. However, they are currently residing in bed with headphones forcefully strapped around them. But nonetheless, we shall continue onwards.
Or just background noise.
Yep, just
A
background
very
noise.
chaotic podcast.
Yep. All right. So, as we pick up with our party where they last left off, our intrepid adventurers finding themselves through the city and the market once more after finding the festival of which has finally kicked off through the halls and streets of Port Ivy. After hearing of what seemed to be some sort of fighting pit and registering themselves within such a thing and deciding that perhaps combat was the best idea for them. After again competing in yet more carnival games and earning more curious prizes, some of them earning what seemed to be knickknacks and baubles, Ryoka herself earning more than her fair share of individual gifts and rather astounding prizes. As we currently pick up, the party is just meeting back together as the crowd is just about starting to move in partial surgings towards the main hall where you had once gone over to the victory pits. You do know that the fights are taking over just about the evening, so just as the sun is starting to head into the evening, so that would be about 6 o'clock-ish when the fights would start kicking off. And for you guys, it would be just about 5:30. And it'd take it just about 20-25 minutes to walk to the other side of town. So collecting yourselves, gathering after the multiple games and other ludicrous ideas of fun held by the others of the city. Making your way over to the bustling crowds that are now moving from the streets into this tall, relatively well-built stone structure. The structure itself looks to be maybe about 3 to 4 stories. You see as it's made of a finely cobbled lime and almost a quartz stone, with hints of wood here and there for accent and other accoutrement. You do see all walks of people are coming into this building. You see poor, rich, you see some of the nobility is entering from another entrance, but you see that off in the distance. Other than that, entering through, you see other groups of mercenaries as well, much like yourselves, armored and armed. However, as they enter, they are somewhat checked down to make sure there aren't any implements that might be, shall we say, a cheap method of winning. As you finally get yourselves up to the line, the guards ask you to stop, and if you are here to spectate or here to compete. Well, if you're just spectating, follow to the left. And you are starting to be shuffled in as you seem to be very quiet and unresponsive to the guard.
Zorm's not there, so
Yeah,
I'm
Nerim,
wondering.
before we
They,
get shuffled
you
off.
guys gathered, over the course of that, as we stated last session, they came back and got you, even though you were focusing on creating the bag.
Oh,
oh, okay.
so
I didn't
everyone's there.
realize that.
Yeah, everybody is there.
Okay.
As
Except
as
Rowan.
stated last session, you guys all got back together just as you were going to go back to the victory pit.
Great, I did dip though.
You
Kind of.
didn't?
We were
Really?
here to fight.
Yeah, I did. You had me roll stealth for it.
Yeah, he just vanished.
Oh, except Clyde. Not Clyde, but yes. Rowan is gone. He's missing. He is disappeared.
We don't know where he is, and frankly, we couldn't be we can't be bothered right now because there's something coming up right now. And Nera would turn to the person who was trying to shove them into the spectator line. He's like, sorry, I think you made a mistake there. Isn't there what were we called again? Chaos Storm, something like that.
They stop you. Hi, check the list. Sees one of them holds open a familiar leather-bound tome. They flip through it. Hey, they're on the list. They're activating. My apologies. You're to the left then. Our left, not your left.
Oh, okay.
And they lead you through another set of doors that seem to be it's almost at a T intersection here. From what you see as you enter the building, it's a wide arced entrance into it, and it's about maybe 7-8 feet tall of an arch with two almost humanoid fighters in heavy armor that just kind of stand there as two statues. When you enter it, the guards stop you, and then the whole transaction continues. You tell them about what's going on, and you are led to the right instead of going to the left. As you are brought over to what would be the right from your perspective, you're led through a series of doorways over to the side when you are eventually met with a small, relatively packed room with about 4 other groups of what look to be other armed companies of mercenaries. Some of them in armor, others of them look to be wearing some kind of donative robe or some sort of semblance of uniform. You do see a familiar kind of cronish-looking individual with his large leather-bound tomes currently watching as you come in. You finally arrive. I believe we are waiting for just one.
And
What moment? All right, so one moment. Yeah. All right, but as you wanted to say, Volus?
I was trying to think to myself. So if we're here to fight, are we able to use magic? Because when I think of fight pit, I just think of like mostly melee.
And are you asking the DM or are you asking him?
The DM.
You don't know. You haven't seen this kind of arena before.
We were told last time that we were fighting a beast, and there was no qualms about it that we are allowed or like even required to kill it. So, just out of character, magic is probably fine as long as you keep it contained into the arena. Like,
So nuke it. Gotcha.
Fireball.
Jokes aside.
Anything short of weapons of mass destruction is probably allowed.
yeah.
Probably.
So weapons of minimal destruction are allowed.
Shoot. Can't use that portable hole and bag tactic.
God,
the
Yeah,
fuck
let's
imagine
let's
pulling
stay
people into
away
the
from
astral
creating
realm.
a black fucking hole in the middle of a city.
Jeez.
Shall
Come
we?
on!
What are you talking about? It's only a
That would be
10-foot radius.
fun.
Still, it's a black fucking hole in the center of a city.
Shut up!
Sorry, that was my brother.
I
Black
don't you
hole?
dare.
Don't worry about it.
If you guys create a black hole in the center of the city, I will eat my brother's 10 chicken McNuggets.
1 second.
It's
All I heard was if you get
All I
if you
made
give
out is a big black hole, and then nothing else made sense.
they'll eat the nuggies or something like that. I don't know what was said.
Apologies. This is why I prefer DMing while I'm still on my campus because I don't have to deal with distraction.
Don't worry. I think we've all been there. So
oh yeah, most
There,
certainly.
done that, had that dance.
There we go.
we've had that limbo before. So you're
It'll
fine.
be slightly more of a pain to deal with since I don't have my mouse. It died. So bear with me as I create the map for you if someone would like to watch as I do so. Let's see.
Kind of sucks.
It's gonna be a pain in the ass. But I will do so for you guys nonetheless because it's what I do.
Because we're
Question.
fun to hang around with.
Sorry.
Shocking.
Shocking? What might be shocking?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Believe me, if there was something shocking, someone would probably be on the floor.
Oh, ha,
Throw in.
ha, ha. God, that was such a bad joke.
Peak comedy when it comes to D&D, folks. I'll be here till Tuesday.
Peak friggin' comedy, my ass.
If you survive.
Peak friggin' comedy, my ass.
Why only Tuesday?
He's gonna be dead by Monday.
If I don't kill him sooner.
Wait, what?
Alright, probably before Grape
Never
kicks me
mind.
for
I'm not gonna
making
ask.
a joke.
So
That's a
I
fucking
was gonna
controlled
ask,
dilemma.
when they were checking to make sure that we had no cheap way of winning easily, did they take my rock?
They didn't really understand what the rock was. However, they didn't essentially take it due to the nature of just pure understanding of it smelled nice, but they weren't exactly sure if that would consummate anything that would be essentially life changing in the arena.
It's a bomb.
It's a bomb. No, that's
I have it.
15th level. Don't worry.
A nice smelling bomb. It just bursts open like a smoke grenade. Everyone
Genuinely,
now
I'm waiting
smells
for
like
you
flowers.
to like conceive a disintegrating rock.
Hold on a minute. Let me just quickly check something here.
Oh my god.
Now you have me thinking.
Oh no.
God dang it.
Oh.
Why did I
Then
open my
again-
mouth?
Oh.
Then again, whatever you do can also be done by some sort of NPC. So
This is very true.
Why won't you stay still? There we go. Apologies. 3D maps don't really like to work when you aren't using a mouse. So again, my apologies to the sincerest.
That's completely fair.
So what are you using right now?
A trackpad. Because
you need hand.
shut up, I got it. It's fine.
Do you need
Aha!
I am a strong, independent woman who does not need no man.
Also, I can't seem to see Grape stream.
It's because I am not streaming.
Oh, odd. Anyways,
Awkward. Just fit.
very.
Brr, brr,
I can see the level of struggle.
Let me
Shut
guess.
up. It's
I
fine.
can see the fucking image in my head. God.
I just see the struggle.
Dun, dun, dun,
There.
I
dun,
Nope.
dun.
can't help but laugh.
There we go. Up, stay.
Funny.
I am
I'm
yellow.
such an asshole.
I'm so glad I have a cup of coffee.
You guys are dicks to me,
Oh.
but it's fine because I kind of dick to you, so it's fine. I understand. I don't apologize.
We dish it out, and
Feeling
we,
is
also we dish it out, but we also take it from you.
You probably get the most from me. Don't worry about it.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Don't do the what?
But if there are anything that you wish to complete or revise over the course of this waiting period between matches, you may. Is there anything that the party would like to do?
I'm just looking through my stuff here real quick here.
Any questions towards
Actually,
the what seems to be one of the administrators?
let me just check my equipment for something.
Actually, a little out of character question
Mhm.
regarding Ryoka. What's gonna be going on with them?
NPC.
NPC? Okay.
What? You guys think I'm just because she's not here, I'm going to pretty much take out one of your best tank slash DPS? Like, I might be evil, but I'm not that evil.
Are you sure?
Wait, what happened to my dices? God dang it. Did I in the dice tower? Shame.
Worst case, you
Why doesn't my
can
dice
snag
tower
the
not
wins
work?
from. Oh God.
I don't know. Why
Well,
does your dice tower-
most of the dice towers don't work in this area, just due to the nature of.
Oh, found them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, found it. Uh-oh.
Well, that means I get to eat the dice tower off.
It always comes back somehow.
And this is why I lock my stuff.
This is why I keep the drawer closed. To not even tempt
Oh, you keep a
anyone.
drawer closed? You do? Really? Hmm?
While this is going on like since prepping stuff, I am quite
Yes.
curious because I still have that what was it? It just came to my mind. I still have the tome from the uh
Well, I
first
can't
guy
unlock
back
this.
in
Whatever.
what was it? The ancient tome from the cup person.
Yes, you still have that book that you read and seems to have no writing to it after you attempted to look at it once and failed.
Hmm. Oh, what the?
What was that?
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
that's what happened. Okay. I was
I just
confused.
want-
on what
It
happened.
was in the way, okay? Shut up. It's fine. It
I
was
will-
in the way.
I was going to ask to see if I could check to see if it's changed because it sometimes is a blank book or it sometimes takes me to some weird spectral room with something watching me.
That sounds like you and your problem, but I'm not really sure how that should be addressed. You should probably see somebody about that.
That was what you said before, so
Shh, it's fine. I don't know what you mean. It's fine.
uh-huh.
I guess. Well, does this count as kind of like a long rest area, like time
No,
period?
absolutely not.
Okay, darn it. Because I would have worked on a potion while I was waiting.
This area is not a long rest area by any means. It's not even a short rest. All right. So the nature of this is the thrown together map that I can manage for you guys. So I apologize yet again, but it's
Okay.
what I can get.
It's more than fine enough. It's
It
arguably better
could
than
be
anything that
worse.
I've put together in my entire D&D career.
It could be worse. I will say that.
Oh, surely.
I'm such an asshole. Can't
Jose,
help
for
it.
the love of
Yeah.
Christ, what are you doing?
I made doors. So,
Okay, so the red boxes denote entrances, almost like gates into the arena.
okay.
However, they are not the gates that you enter from. All right, but that is what you see. That is what you are aware of for this. As the old. 1 second. I have another pull-away point. All right. So, as the old crone of a guy kind of speaks to you all regarding you and the other groups as the last one finally shuffles in, looks to be a group managing of about dwarves and halflings, and that seems to have a gnome with them, but most of them seem to understand what they are doing. They look pretty grizzled themselves.
I'm a gnome.
But over the course of this, you are aware that everybody in the room seems to have some semblance of an idea of what they're doing. Most of them look like pretty decent mercenary companies, if not maybe more so. But as the old crone does speak up, it's all right. Well, for the idea of the victory pit, as you all are aware, if you are not, of the older variety here and are newer to this system, what is to be done here? is that each group is to have 3 selective fights, selected not by themselves but by those before them who have been by random selection designated a monster and to fight them. Each monster will be harder in difficulty to what you can be afforded. But anything you can do to survive and win, you may. Do be warned, these creatures are dangerous, and they can kill you. But we have not had a death here in 17 years, so do not be as worried about it. I also state to you that the monster you are supposed to be dealing with is to be killed. You are to deal with it in a violent manner, with much showmanship, and as gloriously as you can put it, if that is understood. You are also, on the other conditions that your entire party is, or group, is knocked out or knocked unconscious to be rendered unfit for battle, from any of the 3 fights, from the last to the first, or even between. You will lose your chance at gaining the victory and at the pot at the end. Now, each of you have donated a group of 200 some into the massive pot that is already 2,000 gold offered by the city. Now, the winner will take the whole pot and denote it amongst themselves. However, if 2 groups, or even 3, are able to make it through the trimester of each of their challenges, you are able to find and gain and split the pot between all parties involved in the win. So for the essence of this, if any points over to one group that seems to be denoted in silver and blue armor, if Falkenberg's Legion and the Crystal Fangs, and he points over to another mercenary company that looks to be dressed mostly in blue. If they were to win, and each of them pass each 3 selective trial, they would share the sum of 2,000 gold plus the rest of additional pot due to the nature of the 200 sum added by each group, and split it amongst themselves at a halfway point, each group receiving 1,000 from the pot, and then half of what is dissolved and left over. If there are any questions, speak them now. If not, a question you have?
No, I was just saying out of character, no questions over here.
Very well. Good luck. May the blessing of Soon and, well, let's say the other gods are there as well. But since it's a festival, be lively in the name of Soon. Now, if any needed, there are small bits of refreshment here and there. There's some water and minor bits of turkey and jack. Some tack that is offered. However, it's not much in the way of anything that can be remotely useful in coming battle. But, again, I wish you luck. And Godspeed. As he turns off and starts heading out the door. And you see the other groups just start kind of looking at each other, nodding. Some of them start scouting out what's going on and about. However, one thing that does kind of catch your eye is most of the groups here seem to have a more relaxed resentment towards each other instead of a more of I'm going to defeat you and beat you until we win. And it seems to be a friendly competition, but most of them know they're still fighting against somebody else.
Velas takes note of that, and while he does relax a little bit, they do not know any of the groups that are present, so he still has that kind of edge on him. What's the word? He's cautious in the best terms.
Um, Do we know how long it is until we have to fight?
Nope. You are unaware as to how long you have until you fight. That might have been a question that you could have asked him.
It was only like something that popped into my head only now.
You do see, as you're kind of scouting around the groups, one of the groups that seem to be in the contending ring actually seem to be a fairly familiar brass and dark blue colored uniform of the wardens of the city. So you see that there is a hint of guardship and some town pride offered by the guards here in this festival as well. But that's, other than that in the room, it is bland, it is barren, and the tension is on the rise. As you look about from person to person, each of them is, one of them's polishing a weapon, another one tightening armor. Most of them seem to be ready, but they still don't know for what. And that's most of what hangs over. There is no essence of what you should be prepared for, nor anything that you should understand that you would be ready for. But nonetheless, you trust your skills and you trust them beside you. So, eventually, after about 10 minutes, you hear the crowd outside starts to call and cry out. And it's a very loud cacophony of cheers. And you see as the others around are starting to find themselves. Here's a much better essence of what you are facing outside. Let's hope that this works. Yes. You hear the crowd cheering and calling outside. They are calling for victory, they're calling for blood, and they are calling for glorious gratification of seeing beasts and other feral creatures brought before the boot and heel of society and civilization. As you see looking through the small port that is offered through the large gates that are almost a portcullis in style that lead out into the field, you see what looks to be a very stoic, maybe 6.5 foot tall human man that looks to be dressed in a very gladiatorial-esque armor. As he steps out into the ring, the crowd again bursts into cheers and calls out. As this happens, you see as he takes a very relaxed pose and he starts presenting himself to the crowd. And you hear very loud, "Ladies and gentlemen," and the crowd once again swells. "For our intrepid and glorious spectacles of the evening and night, we have before us this day of days of the Festival of Soon to present to you our citizens and people, our victory pit!" And the crowd once again swells. And you do see some of the other groups are starting to stand up. Some of them are heading over and leaning through and peering through the portcullises that are blocking some of the view. At this point, as the announcer is starting to make, you hear, as the door opens behind you, the door you previously entered through, and you see what look to be two clerics walk through wearing very simple gray garb of cloaks. They walk in quietly, and as they move to and fro, you watch as they take two small stools from the corners of the room and put them right next to the sides of the portcullis, and they watch each group rather intently. They seem to be measuring something and seeing a possibility of what might happen. And they seem to be ready or not if something bad were to happen. A precaution in case somebody gets knocked unconscious while the beast is still alive. Now, as the crowd swells and the announcer continues the spiel for about another 3 or 4 minutes, you see as he points his hand towards the portcullis, and you see as the inner and outer starts opening up, and you hear, "And for our first spectacle and match of the night, their first showing of their tertiary games, we have the Fangs." And you see the group of well-grizzled humans and half-elves that seem to be dressed in mixtures of dark blues start making their way out onto the field. The crowd cheers and jeers, some of them cheering for the nature of what these individuals are, others of them jeering because not everybody is meant to survive a victory pit. That is, survive in a nature of wind. As they enter onto the field, you watch as the announcer scurries off after making another spiel. And as he ascends what looks to be a rope ladder up the side of one that has been unrolled and unfurled for him to climb down and up into the pit itself. You see as he stands up top, and you still hear his booming voice as if he were still in the pits below. "Ladies and gentlemen, may our first fight commence!" And you hear the loud grinding of chain through heavy cufflinks as you hear as you watch each of the other gates on the inside of this ring start with a loud and as they open you almost hear what sounds to be a loud and you almost feel the ground shake beneath you as you watch what looks to be a large bull-like humanoid stomps out into the field. You listen as the crowd once again comes a loud cacophonous roar as this huge, almost 8-foot tall minotaur charges out onto the field. You see as it wears plasters of ruined and tattered leather armor, holding in one of its hands what looks to be a great axe of a human design that looks to almost be a toothpick in its hands. As it steps out onto the field, you watch as the group of the Fangs that are currently residing inside, you see as they look before them and then look off to the side as you see, or what you could possibly imagine is another gate opening up. As the fight initiates and commences, you watch as a insurmountable charge from both bowl and steel collide. You hear the metallic clang of horn hitting armor. You see as both of the two minotaurs that seem to have been released into this fighting pit, you watch as they are beaten, bloodied, and stabbed over and over, yet almost in turn seem to claw, beat, batter, and gore through each and every individual of these Fangs. You watch as, of the 6 individuals that have been registered for this Fang gang, you see as the first one, what looks to be a human wielding a sword and shield, is viciously beaten down after a Minotaur uses the flat haft of its axe and just smacks him into one of the palisades. You see as a second member is virtually gored on the horns of this Minotaur and then thrown off to the side, unconscious and unmoving. You see as one Minotaur is finally felled as a very large member of their group, what looks to maybe a 7-foot tall human, about almost picture an Arnold Schwarzenegger when it was his initial like bodybuilding. Like this is that dude. As he wrestles this behemoth of a Minotaur to the ground and shoves its face to the dirt, you watch as he brings out a knife and jams it multiple times into its neck. You see as the other Minotaur seems to be enraged from just the vicious a slaughtering of its companion. You see as it once again takes another one of the companions of the fangs and throws it across. And you watch as this person strikes into one of the palisades with enough force, and you hear the breaking of bone. And you hear some of the crowd go, "Ooh!" And the crowd cheers even louder. Eventually, you do see the Minotaur felled from the amount of cuts, beats, and just sheer ferocity of the fangs. And you see as the second Minotaur finally slumps to one knee, brought to its last, and then topples over as its head is removed from its shoulders. As this Minotaur is finally felled, you see as the gang, as they coalesce with their remaining members, seem to still be ready for another thing, but you watch as about 4 or 5 members of some sort of city-like garb, just normal commoners, come out, each of them wearing looks to be some sort of a leather-esque armor that seems to protect from any kind of beating or so that they might receive from inside while the beast might be restrained. And you watch as these 4 members gather the bodies together and they hook them with what look to be these nasty looking meat hooks or some sort of manacle and start dragging the bodies back inside from the cages they once came from. The announcer comes back down as you watch the 2 clerics that had initially come in afterwards. You see as they rush out of the portcullises as they open up once more. And you see as they start giving almost a small blessing to each of these individuals that have been brought down. You see broken bones have been mended through the use of magic, and you do see that any unconscious being has been brought back to consciousness and the land of the living. Now, this fighting continues over the course of the next few minutes, and you watch as 3 of the other groups continue, bringing you almost to the 5th group as you are finally called out. However, each group seems to be going through monsters of a wilding and wide variety. Each of them fighting some sort of a monster that has some vicious nature towards humanity. And as you are brought out, as the portcullis opens, you see as the announcer steps up. Now, our newest entanglement to our web and viciousness of glory. We have, for the first time in their entire showman career, the Chaos Storm. The crowd looks confused for a second at the name, but cheers nonetheless.
Well, I'm gonna start heading out. I'm gonna actually pull out and load my crossbow while I'm heading out.
Okay.
Nerum's following.
So you pulling the crossbow and loading it up. Easy enough feat.
Nerum's following already, like, great axe on the shoulder.
Alright. As you step out onto the field and bloodied sands of the pits, you watch as the crowd around you, there are maybe 1,500 to 2,000 people currently watching over this spectacle of blood and battle. Looking over, you see a small designation of stands of what look to be a few nobility surrounding a rather administrative-looking individual sent from the city. As you step out onto the sands, you see as this announcer once again starts moving back towards the rope ladder that has been unfolded for him, and he goes back towards it. He's still speaking. Now, shall we take the unbridled virginity of battle in the victory pits from our newest comers? It is to be seen. Shall they bring victory or defeat upon themselves, or be aught? That is for fate and their skills. As he starts ascending back up the ladder is pulled back up. Now, Ladies and gentlemen, may this fight commence! And you hear again the loud grinding of chain through heavy cufflink as it's starting to be pulled over. And what would you guys like to do for placement? This is totally up to you. Oh, 1 second. I believe I need to go and retrieve your fucking... Ah, there are your models right here. Your models are here. You may place yourselves as you see fit among the battlefield.
So
You have 45 seconds.
which ones are opening, just so that way I know?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them are opening. That's the idea behind it. You don't know where they're coming from. So you have to set yourself up depending upon how you believe best fit.
I'm gonna say.
And you have seen all manner of beast.
Here.
Naren's gonna be around here-ish,
30 seconds.
just to be pretty central in case anything steps out, so he can take the front.
20 seconds.
Clyde,
Move your piece now or forever hold your peace, gentlemen
I
and ladies.
suppose
So you,
Ryoka's gonna
good
take
to
the
move
other
yourself?
flank. Oh, jeez. Some delay.
10 seconds.
Iris, are you gonna be moving yourself?
Wait, what's going on? I'm so sorry. My computer was dying for the past 5 minutes.
I take it that means you missed the entirety of the entire spectacle that's been going on, and
I heard bits and pieces of it.
giant fight pit, things have been going through, people have killing monsters, monsters
Yes.
are hurting people.
Yes, yes. So where am I? What
You're,
piece
if
am I?
you're if you're looking at the screen, you're right over here where.
Okay. And where's the thing that we're fighting?
You have no idea. It's not yet to come out.
Oh, okay.
So you have 30 seconds to decide where you want to be positioned.
I think I'm okay where I am. I think.
Okay.
Alright. I'll say Ryoka will stay over here by you. Volus, if you want to get up on top of that, it's going to be difficult because those are raised platforms. They're maybe about 9 feet tall. And the platforms on them are very unstable. So I'll need you to go ahead and make me an acrobatics check. See if you can stay on top of it.
Jose?
Oh, he's changing his
I-
position.
I heard. I just realized I was muted. I heard, so I moved my position.
Okay. So Niram there, Volus there, Clyde there, Zoram, Rowan will be there, Ryoka is here, Iris, you'll be over here. So you guys are mainly staying together. Got it.
I'm not in this, remember?
No, I know you're not, but I'm just saying it's like for the sake of this, I was making sure that you were paying attention.
Would be cool if you were here.
It would be cool. It would be cool. It'd be very cool if he were here. But he doesn't seem to want to participate. Now, as the fight commences, and you watch as the portcullises are opened up completely, nothing comes out. And the crowd cheers more, and then it dies out slightly and goes silent. And you hear a couple of, "What's going on? Where's the fighting? Where's the beast?" And the crowd starting to get a bit antsy and riled before you see the announcer make some sort of motion, and you watch as from the inside you see is almost like an arc of electricity, almost like a Tesla arc of energy comes through each of the cages, and you hear this kind of from the inside of one of the cages as you see a long coiled black form of some sort of snake-like ooze. And you see this giant monstrosity that's about maybe 5 foot thick and maybe about 12 feet long. As you see it uncoil itself and roll out as it's being shocked and zapped out of its comfortable little cage. and you see coming out in front of you what looks to be a large snake of almost dripping black ooze and jelly as it snarls out towards the crowd once again. Yeah!
Hmm.
Now, for the sake of this, I would like you all to roll initiative, please.
You got it.
Oh boy.
22 for me.
Okay. That's a 15 for Niram.
Okay. All right. So we have 25 to 20.
Right here, 22.
20 to 15.
15 for Niram.
19.
19 for Zoram. And then we have 15 for Niram, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
For Ryoka, that will be, that's a 16 plus shitloads. That's a dirty 20. 15 to 10. 10 to 5.
Out of 5.
Dear God, Beth.
I'm sorry.
All right. So, and for the nature of this, is there anybody that I missed? Because I have Mullis, Ryoka, Zoram, Niram, Iris. And that should be everybody that is in the fight, correct?
Except for Clyde.
Oh,
Clyde.
and Zahiri would be there as well. Zahiri would be there as well, so we need more for her. So she has a 15 as well with you, Niram. So you and her will be going at the same time.
Does Zahiri have a dex modifier of 2 or higher?
I believe she has a dex of +2, but that's it.
Wow, we're equal then. Jesus.
All right. So, as this uncoiled figure of the snake riles out and snarls at you all, and it comes out, it looks directly at you, Volus, as you stand there before it. It is very angry after being shocked. What would you like to do? As you are first up in the initiative order.
You're
Jose,
muted.
that's you.
Yeah. Oh my god, my freaking mic went freaking work. I'm gonna move back 5, 10, 15. And I am going to start this rather hardball it. I am going to do a meta magic. Uh, let me just find it. Of a quicken spell to make my spell a bonus action. And I will go ahead and Scorching Ray this thing.
Go for it. Make your Scorching Ray attack, sir, as this snake looks directly at you.
Does a 21 hit?
21 definitely.
I roll Scorching Ray 3 times for damage, right? Since it's 3 blasts, or is it overall?
Well, you have to roll, if you're doing Scorching Ray, you have to roll 3 different attacks. It is three separate beams, so each one is a different attack. So it is 3 attacks. So the first one hits.
11
11
is,
still hits.
and let me just get the roll for the last one. 20.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage for each.
Okay, so the first one is 8. The
8.
second one is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Last one, 12.
Okay.
So I did 30 damage overall.
Very nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
So, as the scorching rays smack into each side of this torso and long, extended body of the snake, you watch as bits of this ooze is blown off from it, and you watch as when it slams into or sparkles into the wall, you see as bits of the stonework and wood starts to sizzle and melt away, and then whatever it is from the body goes inert, and you watch as it slides off the wall.
If you think that electricity was bad, my flames are worse. He just says like to himself, and he's gonna use the rest of his movement since he saw his routine. 5, 10, 15 to go over here.
Okay. So that ends your turn, I believe. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Yeah, it is. Never mind.
it
I
does?
thought I
Okay.
screwed up.
So that ending your turn is going to go ahead and be Ryoka. Ryoka doesn't know what the hell to do with this because it is a large snake, but she's going to go ahead and try and hit it. She's going to use one dart. That's a 15 plus 7. That hits. And then her second attack is that's actually no. No, that actually just hits. You watch as Ryoka takes out 2 darts and releases both of them, and as they smack into the form of this this oozing snake, you see as the darts are absorbed and then melted into the body and seem to have done no damage. And
Is it a
seems to be
magical one?
ineffective towards the snake.
Dang.
So she's not using the turning dart?
Well, she didn't know what was gonna happen there, because one, if she threw it and it wouldn't return, because one, this snake seems to have been rather corrosive. 2, if she threw it and she didn't know what she was throwing at, it's probably gonna melt her dart. She doesn't want that to happen because she really likes her dart.
Okay, just was double checking.
I
Go both
understand
ways.
you don't. I understand you don't trust me.
No, I
I
trust
get
you.
it. Don't,
Just I was
no, you don't
confused.
trust me. I understand. Don't worry about it.
I mean, Ryoka could definitely think both ways. She would be the kind to throw the dart into anything, but she'd also be the kind to just, anything for my baby darts.
Yeah. All right. So after Ryoka, and you see as the 2 darts disappear into the form of the snake and get dissolved and absorbed, Ryoka's gonna be like, "Fuck that!" And she is going to start moving 20. She's gonna move 20 feet back and just use a key point to get into a defensive stance. Zoram, you are up next. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I don't think acid damage is gonna do much against this thing. So
What? What do you mean? Go ahead, try it.
no.
Go ahead. Come on.
When the GM says try it, you
Come
know it's
on.
corrosive. It's more likely gonna heal it.
Come on.
Give me something to work with.
Yeah, come on.
What makes this so certain that we can trust you?
I'm a dungeon master. What do you mean? Come on, you can trust me.
I'm just thinking here because I'm going to try and just use frostbite for now.
Frostbite. Go ahead and use frostbite. I
It
believe it is a saving throw.
is a con saving throw on their
It's
end.
a con save. You cast the spell. You see as it hardens, the ice hardens across the torso of the snake, and you watch as the acid just immediately melts the ice with no effect.
It's immune to cold damage. Good to know. I am going to move back a little bit.
Okay. So you move back, starting to get yourself away.
Go right about there.
So as you cast out the spell, you watch as this ray of frost continues out from the puff of your hand, almost like a small flurry of snowflakes. And as they coalesce and form into this hardened shield of ice along the side of the snake, you watch as it just cracks and breaks through as it's melted. After Zorm, does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, Zorm, if that ends your turn, it is now Niram and Zahiri. I'll say Niram, you can go ahead and go first since Zahiri is an NPC at the moment.
Yeah, Narum is gonna use his bonus. Well, he's gonna put away the great axe, seeing as it's probably not gonna do much against slime, like given his recent experiences. And he's instead gonna pull out. Well, in this situation, probably the only thing he could even use is the javelin, like one of his javelins.
Okay. So you pull out the javelin, and you if you want to go ahead and make your melee ranged or your physical strength-based ranged attack. Good God, why is English hard today? You may go ahead and do so.
Yeah, he's gonna move into position first, though. So he,
More than easy enough.
he's gonna move over here. That's 30 feet of movement, making sure that he is the frontmost party member there, and he's gonna shock it.
Go for it. Make your melee attack or your melee range. For fuck's sake!
Oh,
Make
yeah,
your
I know
strength-based
what you
ranged
mean.
attack.
It's
Good God.
It's a 13. That's some
13
shit.
hits. So as you throw the javelin out, it impacts into this large oozing snake. You watch as it hits and immediately starts dissolving as it hits its way in and has no effect.
Even a weapon of that size, dang. Yeah,
The javelin hits it and dissolves almost immediately.
good to know. And that is pretty much the turn.
Okay. Then it's to Zahiri. Zahiri doesn't know what she could do. She doesn't have any weapons that seem to be affecting it either. So she will attempt, since this is the only thing she knows how to do, she will go ahead and pull a crossbow, try and fire at it. Actually, no, it's a longbow, sorry. Longbow at it. The longbow, and it impacts into the torso of this snake, and it again gets absorbed and dissolved inside of it. Things are not looking too good. So, for the nature of this, after Zahiri, it is now the snake's turn. Actually, let's say for the sake of this, Zahiri would move slightly up. God damn it. Zahiri, where the fuck are you? Oh, there you are. Why is the model hiding back here when I hit Control V earlier? God damn it. Let's say she will move over here beside you now, just kind of forming a slight blocking force between the snake, yourself, and the party. All right. So, God damn it, why is this so pain in the ass? As the snake gets hit with all of these blasts, it seems the most upset by the fire, as the fire is blowing actual, almost gaping holes that have been somewhat refilled over time, but it still looks like it was weakened from that. As it slithers its way over towards Niram and towards Zahiri, as it's trying to get its quickest way over towards the one who flung magic at it, but it's still upset that it's being attacked. It'll be be able to make it there. Niram and Zahiri is now within melee range of you. I'm just letting you know for reference. And it is going to go ahead and make one melee attack against you, and it's going to go ahead and make a slam attack with its tail against Zahiri. So as it reaches out to try and bite you, that is like 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay. I need you to go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw. See if you can resist the bits of acid damage that are coming through here.
That is a 22. 19 plus 3.
That definitely resists that.
Wait.
So instead of taking 3d8, you take 1d8
Great.
of acid damage.
Great.
See, I am a very nice DM.
I am a generous god.
Yeah. You take 6 points of acid damage, and you also take from the bite 2 points of bludgeoning damage as it clamps around you. And as the bite finally withdraws, you feel the sting of almost acidic saliva left over on your armor and on you. You manage to swipe it off fast enough, but it still manages to dissolve enough of the armor to where it burns into your flesh.
Fun.
Very. And then against Zahiri, that is a... No, that's definitely going to miss. That's a 5. And as that resolves the snake, as it rears back again, and you see as the burbling of the pretty much vocal cords that aren't there, as it makes this hissing, burbling sound that just bubbles out of its mouth. At the end of that, we have Iris. Iris, what would you like to do in the face of this creature?
Oh god.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm looking at my weapons and trying to figure out what I can do because I don't have anything.
well, what spells do you have?
I don't have any.
You are a bard. Oh wait, no, you're not a bard. You're a rogue. Right.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to try and do?
I don't know.
Well, give me something you want to do.
I don't know that. Hold on, I need to go AFK. I'm so sorry. Could you please NPC me till I get back?
Alright, I can NPC. So, with Iris doing what she's going to be doing, she is going to attempt to shoot with a crossbow since it's within melee range. Even though it's probably going to be worthless, she's still going to shoot at it. That still hits, but it does no damage because it gets hit, absorbed, and destroyed. So, as Iris uses her movement to get a slightly better shot, and she tries to shoot at it, doesn't do any damage that she would hope to have done to this creature. That will be then to Clyde. And since Clyde is still there, however, at the moment Clyde is not there, Clyde is going to use Vicious Mockery. He needs to make a wisdom save, which it fails. And it takes, I believe, Vicious Mockery is 1d4 plus Charisma. I believe. So that's 4 plus 4 is 8 points of psychic damage. As what kind of jibe or what kind of insult would Clyde use here?
I don't think Clyde would insult someone.
No. Clyde is insulting the creature because the creature just it's all Clyde can think about doing.
Your mother's a solid.
You know what? Fine, sure. Your mother's a solid. And the snake looks somewhat like hurt by this. It looks confused and somewhat hurt as the psychic damage hits into its non-available brain, but it does harm its sentience.
What sentience?
What the?
This thing has sentience?
Well, I mean, it is a living ooze, so it seems to be some sort of a, from what you can tell, I'll give you slight insight. It's this creature looks like it should be some sort of like an ooze-like creature, like you fought in the sewers before. However, it seems whatever has been done, it seems to have been compressed into this shape of a snake, and it seems to have been forced into staying as such.
Ouch.
Other than that, as Clyde sends out the vicious mockery and the snake fails it, we'll go ahead and have top of the round. We have Vullis. Vullis, what
Okay.
would you like?
Let's see here, since it's there. Okay, I have an idea. I'm going to move over 5, 10, 15 to over here where I can see it. And it's obviously like, is it on laying down or is it like, of course, towering over the Nerman?
It is, yes. It is both laying down and towering over them. It is 12 feet long.
Okay, I'm just asking if it's like, its front is like, you know, what's the
Its
one I'm looking
front is
for?
facing towards Niram and towards Zahiri.
Okay. Um, let's make this interesting. I'm use. What's the spell name? Need to see. Since Scorching Ray had worked, I'm gonna use it again,
Okay, go for it. Go
and
ahead and make your 3 attack.
I will Meta Magic it for as a bonus. But let's see. Roll. First one, 17, 15,
17 hits. 15 hits.
and 16.
All 3 hit.
Gotcha. First one does 8. Second one does 12. Third one does 11. So
All right,
12,
so that's
11, and 8.
23 plus, what was the first one?
8.
8. So that's
8, 11,
that's
12. Yeah.
23 plus 11 again is 31. So that's 31 points of damage in total.
Yes, and for my main focus, since I can only use a cantrip, I will follow it up with a firebolt.
Certainly.
14.
14. Yeah, that certainly hits. This thing has no AC, but it's very low armor class,
And
but it has a lot of hit points.
add another 10 damage, so 41
Okay.
damage overall.
God damn.
Very nice. Very nice. It definitely looks hurt again as you send out each of the 3 blasts of fire. You watch as it impacts and blows more of chunks off of the body. Niram, due to the nature of so both Niram and Zahiri, you both take splash damage due to the nature of being within melee range of this creature and it being blown apart. You both take 8 points of acid damage as the acid is sprayed over on top of you before you're able to clear it off.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
I need 1 moment. I'm being called away, and I apologize.
Oh, good.
I guess we take a moment's break.
This thing hurts.
I'm really thinking on what this thing could be vulnerable to in terms of my spells.
Well, it seems it doesn't like fire that much.
It definitely doesn't like fire.
It seems like
Scorching
melee
Ray
is completely ineffectual to this.
It seems like it's a type that's well, not obvious. It might just be immune to any physical weapons or attacks.
Physical
probably
and
non-magical
ice
physical
so
weapons.
So far, it's also
Wait,
immune
who has a bow though?
There's
Behemoth,
Zahiri.
this would have been a great time to just cast a heat metal on any javelin you throw into it.
Well,
Well-
if they wouldn't get it dissolved immediately.
No. If it's heated metal, they'll probably take a fire damage before it dissolves.
Yeah,
that's
take
true.
the fire damage.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's just kind of stupid that I'm sitting here. Hey, I'm a melee class who has like 1 ranged option. I'm not gonna burn that immediately.
Javelin.
Well, I still have
I'm
my
back.
lightning breath, but it's like,
Welcome back.
Use your lightning breath then.
it's a one-time use, dude. We have 2 more monsters.
So What would you guys like to do, as currently it is Volus blowing apart parts of this snake, as it is currently still reeling above both Niram and Zahiri. After Volus, I believe, is Ryoka again. However, Ryoka has nothing she can do because so far all she has seen is attacks that don't work, and those are the only attacks that she has. So
Bless you.
she will go ahead and go another key point into patient defense. However, she will go ahead and move in front of Volus in case something happens.
Yay, I get protected for once by Ryoka.
Not like Nerim and Zahiri at the fucking front line.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Here.
All right. So as that ends, Ryoka is now Zoram. Zoram, what would you like to do?
You know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of a gamble here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to use Ray of Sickness. So I have to make a ranged attack on him, and then he has to make a saving throw.
Make your ranged attack, sir.
That is +7. Math. So 23.
Yeah, that hits. That is a Constitution saving throw, you said?
Yes.
That is a... Yes.
But he also is taking 2d8 poison damage.
Okay. One moment. Nope. That damage does go through. Go for it.
So that is an 8 and a 6.
So 14.
Points of poison damage.
Very nice. Very nice.
You gave the snake. How do you feel?
And what did he roll on his con saving throw?
That is a 15.
15 is my spell DC.
So meets it, beats it.
Okay.
And by the way, you said 14 points of damage, correct?
Yeah.
Got
14 points of poison damage.
It's starting to look hurt. The size of it has somewhat shrunken due to the nature of trying to fill in all the gaps and holes that you've been blowing into its form, and it definitely looks like it's rough. It's starting to look hurt.
So it doesn't like poison and it doesn't like fire. We'll have to find what else it doesn't like, but so far those are the only two things that it doesn't seem to like.
After that, does that end your turn?
Yeah, and I also had conveyed this to what I was saying to the rest of the.
Okay. So after that, we have Niram and Zahiri. Niram, what would you like to do as you're currently standing before this snake that is seeming to withstand each and every attack that's been thrown at it, except the magical ones?
Nerim's gonna use the only magical, well, pseudo-magical attack he has, and he's gonna use his breath weapon. So, I require you to roll a dex save for this snake thing, as a bolt of lightning leaves Nerim's maw.
That's a funny thing, because as you reel back and release the lightning, because the dex save, it fails, rolls a 2 + 1.
Neat.
However, it does not take damage from the lightning. Instead, as the lightning bolt strikes into it, you watch as from the mass point where it gets hit from that lightning bolt, you watch as the snake splits. And you watch as coming from the one snake is now two of smaller stature.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm useless.
I am not going to have enough spell slots for this.
Fun. Yeah, and for the rest of his turn, he's just gonna stand there.
The snake
sorry.
split into two.
Oh, fun.
You don't use lightning. Literally just like yells out, "Lightning's bad."
Yeah, Niram, you rear back and the lightning bolt strikes out, and the crowd goes wild and watches the creature splits in two. They cheer harder, and then watch as both form into these giant pseudo snakes of oozing acid, and they immediately just start cheering even harder as it seems that the fight just keeps on getting better and better.
Question.
Yes.
On seeing this, could Zorm have deduced what these actually are?
If Zoram wanted to go ahead and use his action to make an intelligence check, sure.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next turn.
All right. Niram, as you blow apart a portion of this, you watch as Zahiri looks confident as you blow it in half, and then she looks very disturbed as another one rises out from the two puddles that you formed. As she looks at you and says, "Really? Did you have to do that?"
I didn't know this was gonna happen.
And she starts backing away.
Jesus Christ.
She's going to try and back away as it's going to get an opportunity attack on her.
Oh, great.
That yet again misses. So as it snaps out behind her, she's shit, and she manages to pull her tail out from around her as it just manages to not get bitten off. Now, that ending Zahiri's turn because there's nothing she can do to damage it. It is now the snake's turn. And one of them is going to 5, 10, 15, go right up the center. Niram, it is an attack of opportunity for you if you wish to make one.
I mean, I don't want to lose more weapons, so I am going to refrain.
Okay. You
Punch
watch
it.
it slithers by.
Yeah, just, just fucking melt away my arm while I'm at it.
And then it's going to make a bite and slam attack against Ryoka as it's trying to get to Volus, it seems.
It does not like me at all.
That hits, and that hits. You watch as Ryoka gets bludgeoned badly. And
Even
she
with
needs to make a con
disadvantage?
save.
Dang.
Uh,
She was in a defensive position.
oh yeah, it was a the first one is a 15 and a 19. Had to take the 15 plus 3. I believe that
18.
breaks her armor class.
Does she have an AC?
Actually, no, 15 plus 5 actually, so that'd be a dirty
Okay,
20.
yeah, that would break it. Because I think she has like an
Yep.
AC of like 18 or 19. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, so it would be a 15 plus 5 due to the nature of the attack, and then the second one is again another. It was a 16 and it was a 16 and a 17, so I had to take the 16.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
No,
But
I
Ryoka
get that
did-
you don't really decide how the dice are going to roll. It's just, god dang.
Ryoka did save, so she only takes 1d8 of acid damage, which is 6 points of acid damage and 5 points of bludgeoning damage. As the maw of this snake just snaps around one of her arms, she tries to block it out of the way, and you hear the sizzling of flesh and meat roasting as she and just pretty much palm strikes it off before the tail whips around and smacks her in the midriff, and she takes an additional
30 points of damage.
8 points of bludgeoning damage and another 8 points of acid damage. As
I think this
whack,
is,
whack.
I think this is the part where game panics.
Yeah, she's like, oh shit, because she's hurt. She is very badly hurt. You guys are, I believe, 4th or 5th level, yes?
Fourth
And
level.
that's what I was actually curious about because I thought we were fourth.
Yeah, we're
Yeah, 'cause
fourth
you guys
level
are
currently.
Yeah, you are. You guys are 4th level
Okay.
because you were close to getting 5th level, and then you guys completely side railed it. So that was a bit obnoxious, but
We side. fucking railed the whole thing. God dang it. I want my fireball.
It seems to be a running gag that whenever I'm trying to level up a party, you guys completely beeline it away from what I'm trying to level you for. Because up until fifth level, I do milestone. And then after
Okay.
5th level, I do experience and milestone. And for the love of God, you guys are making me test my patience on milestone.
Grape tries to help us level up us. Cinnamon rolls.
Festival.
Cinnamon roll. Oh God, that has to be one of the most not I wouldn't say embarrassing, but the most annoying things for a GM. My campaign beamed by a single cinnamon roll.
But as the Ryok is looking really friggin' hurt. I think she only has like what 8 or 9 hit points left.
Oh jeez. From full. Goddamn.
And then there is going to be 2 attacks on you, one from the bite and one from the tail onto you, Niram. The first one is has a 14 to hit
That misses.
on the bite. Okay, good enough. And then the tail trying to slam into you, that is the exact same thing, a 14.
Wow.
So as the bite comes through, you like shit, and you dodge out of the way as this smaller mouth slams in across right where your arm and torso would be, and you just manage to slide out of the way. And as you dodge away, you watch as the tail coming in from another direction, and you manage to duck almost Matrix style. It's like shit,
Oh.
and
God.
it goes right over your face. Now, after that little excitement, we're gonna go ahead and have Iris. It is now Iris. Iris, what would you like to do?
I don't have anything that can damage it.
You can try hurting its feelings.
Iris isn't a bard.
I know,
Yes.
but you can still hurt its feelings.
I got.
Beth is still too nice.
I don't know how to insult people.
My point.
Things.
You just have to call him a doo-doo head, and you're good to go.
Oh.
You're a big stinky doo-doo head.
I can try insulting it. What do I have to roll for that?
Just
Do I have
make
to roll for that?
make me a general charisma check. If you're actually gonna follow through with it, make me a general charisma check.
Sure, why not? I don't get a plus thing. Has rolled across my room, and it's a 14.
14. Okay. You go, hey, dumbass, look at me. And,
No!
Oh
and-
no.
and the snake looks over at you in your direction as you are now. Even though the crowd is loud and it's echoing and reverberating within the ring, you saying, hey, dumbass,
Your mom gay.
it immediately looks in your direction. And
Your mom
it
gay.
seems you've gotten its attention.
I'm gonna say your mom gay.
That works too.
No, I'm gonna call its attention and just call its mom gay.
That works. It is now up to Clyde, and Clyde will follow it up. It needs to make a wisdom saving throw, I believe. Yeah, wisdom save, which it fails again with a natural 1.
Oh god.
All right, let's see what happens. That is 2 plus 4 is 6, so 6 points of psychic damage as Clyde follows up. Is like, yeah, your mom, hella gay.
Oh.
And the snake looks, it looks hurt again somehow. You're not sure how, but you almost see its form just kind of like lose its ability to stay rigid and formed as it hears this, and it just like slinks apart.
I
But
didn't realize it was so bad we needed 2 of you. Just
just droops.
This is just
It
cyberbullying.
Oh,
You guys are bullying this.
Killed it.
You guys are bullying this poor Snick. All right.
Get to death.
and I
After
am its
that ends
punching
Clyde's
bag.
turn.
Thanks.
And ends Clyde's turn. Vullis, you're up. What would you like to do?
You
I think he did.
I'm back. Sorry. Sorry. My aunt needed me.
Hey, I completely understand family needing you during D&D. Trust me, nobody but me understands that better than you.
Are you
Alright.
sure about that?
Yeah, are you sure about that?
Being the dungeon master here, I think it's a little bit more important when somebody calls me away. Even though you are all important and blessed and loved by me, I will still act like I hate you. I love you, but still.
Aw.
That doesn't mean I won't try and kill you with monsters, but still.
I will kill you with love, awe, and monsters.
Plus all.
I will kill you with love and this gun I found.
No, the gun's name is Love.
Okay.
Okay, so it's my turn, right?
Just like
Yes,
my
it is.
machete's name is Kindness.
You know, let's make this a little more interesting. Quick
I'm
question.
gonna cast lightning bolt again.
Oh
No,
no!
I
I mean,
probably do
it would definitely make it more interesting.
if Ryoka is usually after me, I'm going to twin cast, using meta magic, Dragon's Breath.
What dragon's breath are you going to be using?
Why don't you heal her?
I
She
don't
has
have
9
healing
hit
spells.
What dragon's breath are you going to
Fire.
use?
Fire.
Fire. Ryoka's right in front of you. If you use it, you are going to flambe her.
I'm twin casting it so
Do
that way
it.
I can cast one
Do
on
it.
myself and on Ryoka. I'm then going to move 5 feet to 5 and really just right up it,
Okay,
and flame breath it this way.
go for it. I would
Okay.
say that would just miss Niram. So Niram, you're gonna feel a real toasty buns for a few seconds, but you'll be fine.
Let me just check to see how far this
Don't
goes.
fart.
Oh, it's a 15-foot cone.
Aaron, whatever you do, don't fart.
5,
Oh,
10,
no.
15.
Good
Yeah,
God, man. We are not 5, okay? We do not need fart jokes.
Yes, we do.
Speak for yourself.
It's
it needs
something
a
else
dex
if you've
saving
actually
throw.
seen a gas explosion, so.
Game. Or grape. This needs a dex saving throw. So yeah.
Right. Dex save on the creature is no, that is a 7. 6 plus 1.
So 3d6. I just need to roll that. D6. 2, 3. It takes 17 damage of fire.
Alright. You reel back and release it from your mouth, and as this fire builds up inside of you and releases into this creature, you see as it looks towards you, and you see as it's almost, you know, those somewhat kind of cliche horror movies when you roast something and then it just like kind of puffs into ash. That's
Yep.
essentially what happens here. You
Hmm.
reel back and as it's bathed in flame, you watch as the gooing ooze of acid that it's made out of dries and cracks and almost becomes an ash as you coat it with flame. You watch as a small bit of puddle is left after with a small pile of black ichor that's just left in the sand, and it seems to stop moving as it settles. And it is dead. You have
And
finally killed one
One
of the
snake.
snake.
I will say this as well. Ryoka also has one of these. If they use their
Yes,
action.
I know that when you said twin casting and you will give to her.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all right. I understand that you were just confirming, and I completely understand that. You don't need to apologize. All right. Now that it is Ryoka's turn, Ryoka is gonna go ahead and she's like, "Well, fuck," and she feels a familiar like, "Oh, fuck," and she's gonna go ahead and 15, 20. She's gonna go ahead and try to go up and acid breath this thing as well, even though actually she's gonna stay away from it. But she's gonna stay away from it. It fails the save. It is 2d8, you said, correct?
3d6.
Oh, 3d6. Okay, thank you for confirming. Jesus!
What?
2 1s and a 4.
Oh god.
Good God. That's a horrible fucking roll. Jesus Christ. So as she reels back and releases this fire, it's pitiful. It pretty much just laughs at her. She coats it in flame and it looks at her and it's almost like, what? You just hit me with a pom-pom. And it looks right back over at Niram. Ending Ryoka's turn, it's going to go ahead and go to Zoram.
Okay.
Zoram, it's now your turn. What would you like to do? Are you going to make another glow stick?
I have two options here. Well, I'm gonna first move over here so that way I have a clear shot without accidentally hitting anyone. And
Okay.
I am going to... You know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go with what I know works, and I'm gonna use Ray of Sickness.
Ray of Sickness yet again? Go for it.
That is a 21.
That hits. And then saving throw is a Constitution, you said?
Yes, and
That is a 16 plus 5. So that's a 21.
yeah, it saves it, but it still takes 2d8.
Yeah, it still takes the 2d8.
That is 16 points of poison damage.
How do you want to kill it? How is this son of a bitch dying?
Just gonna try and blow a hole right through it, just through its
Right.
face.
You point your finger out towards it, and as you spell from it, you watch as this sickly green ray releases. And as it impacts into it, this bright green light just impacts and starts corroding away from the inside, and you see a small detonation on the inside. And you watch as, instead of releasing outward, you watch as almost a small vacuum of sickness just starts absorbing into the acidic nature of the creature. And as it and it starts burrowing more and more as it finally starts becoming more and more of a puddle, as it becomes into one with the sandy pits below, forming yet another black splotch on the ground. As it is finally felled and brought pretty much to its dead knees, it is as the crowd swells as you have managed to defeat your beast after making it even harder to do so. You cheer yourselves, not as loud as the crowd, but you're like, hey, we did it. Yes. But the crowd again keeps swelling, roaring with cheers and with congratulations, as they seem to be enthralled with the performance. See Clyde, being the showman that he is, kind of take his hat off and bow to the crowd. You see as the rest of you are just kind of looking at him like, what are you doing? The announcer, you see, as the rope ladder is descended once more and unfurled, and he makes his way down and steps out. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen such a spectacle from such a virgin at our sports? And the crowd roars once more. Now, from their victory of their first fight, we wish them glory on their second. Next in our competition, we have the much-loved and beloved group of Falkenberg's Legionnaires. And the crowd once again swells with applause and cheers. As you are exited out, And you're not led out for say, but you guys are pretty much hinted at you're to get off by your own admission.
Mhm.
Yeah, Nerem's gonna go back to the I suppose foyer area where we were before, and
Yeah.
he's gonna plonk down on the ground and just takes a good deep breath.
That took way more spell slots than I am comfortable with.
Ah shit. It just seemed like looking at the acid wounds, just lightly poking them and wincing.
Ryoka comes over, it's like, and she starts poking them as well. Yeah, they hurt, don't they? And she kind of like motions towards her own. It's like, they really fucking hurt.
Yeah, no shit.
Not here.
That's a fuck. I felt useless.
Oh, you felt useless. I was a beating back.
Oh,
I
you
was
think I
useless,
wasn't?
so I...
Well, you watch as Clyde comes over and just kind of taps her shoulder. Well, you grabbed its attention enough to where I was able to insult it. So, it seems to have worked. You weren't entirely useless.
I mean, I split it in two. That's pretty bad.
Well, but you did take a brunt of the oncoming swarm, so why
At
be?
least you helped us with the process of elimination.
I guess.
Well, we at least figured out that there are creatures out there that don't really care about gun any physical damage.
Mhm.
So what kind of like resting period would this count as?
You do not have time for a short rest.
Okay.
The matches have been going by like maybe every minute, minute and a half, every 2 minutes. Like they are making sure it is a quick. You either get healed by your own volition or you get knocked unconscious.
Okay.
Is there any healing that would like to be done from the party onto any of the other party members?
Just looking.
I think I have a med kit.
Oh, if you would like, you can go ahead and make a medicine check on somebody and see if you can heal them.
What do I roll for a medicine check?
D20 plus wisdom, I believe.
That's 21 on Ryoka. Dirty
She,
20.
you go over and apply some healing balms to the afflicted areas of acid, and she looks definitely better and definitely feels better. But it's still a pain that she went through.
Who else was injured? And can I use it on anybody else?
You could. There are only about 4 charges that are able to be used on a medical kit until it is fully used, and then you're going to have to either buy a new one or resupply it. So you're
Okay.
going to go ahead and you can check the others. However, it takes you a good, like, I'll say for the sake of timing, you are able to get another person in before your next match.
Yeah. I'll heal him up. Who looks worse for who looks the worst out of
Probably Niram. Niram looks pretty hurt.
Niram, you're up.
He's gonna be like, you could probably help out Ryoka a bit more. She looks pretty hurt still. I'll be fine, I guess.
Does when I healed her, how many hit points did I give back to her out of curiosity?
You said you rolled a. Well, you. Oh, did you? I thought the 21 was on your.
No, you said
For
you
your
said-
healing, I believe it is two, for the healer's kit. It is 2. Well, one sec. Let me pull up the player handbook, and I will tell you.
See, I have one spell slot left, and I can use that as has a. I can either use that to heal someone or damage the enemy. It's just I couldn't use any of my cantrips in the first fight here.
Where are these friggin' healing kits? Tools, herbalism kit. Mess kit, oil, magnifying glass, manacle, planning trap, lamp, lock, barrel, basket, quiver, potion of healing. Good fucking god, where is the healer's kit?
Apparently, a healer's kit in 5e is only there to stabilize without needing to make a medicine check.
Ah, that's normal D&D.
Yeah, that is trashed here.
I'll say, for the sake of this, for what you rolled, go ahead and roll, I'll say 2d6 plus your medicine.
And medicine, you said is my stuff. So a natural 6 and a 5, so 11.
So 11 plus your
13
plus
points.
Your 13?
Yeah.
Nice.
So how many total hit points does she have, and how many more would she need to be at full health?
She would need about 11 more, maybe 12.
Right, and how many does Niram have, and how many would he need to be at full health?
I'm at 35 from 51, so I'm 16 down.
I guess I'll heal Ryoka again.
Due to the nature of healing kit, you can't, sadly.
Okay, then, Niram. That is a 17.
Go ahead and roll 1d6 plus medicine.
A 5.
So
5.
that's 7 points?
Niram, you heal 5 points back.
Okay, 5 points. And he's gonna, like... Every time you, like, apply a bomb, he's very jittery. Like, he twitches, and sometimes you have to, like, hold his arm in place because he's very jumpy.
He's like that little kid who scraped his elbow, but he doesn't want to, like, hand it over to be healed.
Yep, exactly like that.
She'd try to like calm him down, but she's not the best at doing that. So she'd be like, "There, it's okay. Just it's a little cold. You'll be fine. Stop squirming."
He's not screaming. He's just he's very like put off by the idea that he requires like care that could go to other people.
All right. Over the course of the next few battles, as it returns slowly back to your turn in the initiative order for the teams, you watch as the other teams are slowly whittled down. 2 other teams of the initial 6, including you, have been knocked out. So it is you and 6 teams. 2 get knocked out. So there's 4 teams left, and it's their second round going through, but it was the first round for most of the others. On your turn now for the fights, being your second, the announcer comes down yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, for their second appearance of the evening, and crowd roars once more. We have our much beloved and worthwhile spectacle of Chaos Storm. And the crowd, yeah! And crowd goes nuts and wild and insane.
I'm gonna head out.
Yep. Time to enter the
As
arena.
you start heading out into it, and sees the announcer starts making his way back up. Now, for their second appearance, they need no further ado. Open the gates. Let battle commence. And as the gates are opened, you all stand before you. As they open, you again have your 30 seconds. You can place yourselves as you wish. What would you like to do?
Yeah,
25
just
seconds.
take it.
Shit.
Forward just throws them all there. You're in now.
20 seconds.
Iris, where do you want to be?
15 seconds.
I suppose, like,
Iris.
surround the castles.
I guess I'll stay where I am. Wait, what are we fighting?
You
We
have
don't
no
know.
idea. That's been a reoccurring theme. You have no idea what you've been fighting.
We don't know where
Except
they
these.
come from and what
Just one
they're.
sec. I need to pull these off the map.
Begotten, Snick.
I've got a snake. But other than that, you have no idea what you're fighting. As the gates of the chains running through the cufflinks, you see as they open up, you hear a and the ground shakes as the footsteps are heard. And coming from underneath, you see a humanoid face with a singular eye. And you see as the hand comes out and staples into the wall and pulls itself out from this hunched over state it was once in. You see as a 12-foot tall Cyclops steps out onto the field. You now see as to why this building is built so tall and the spectators are very high up.
That's a big boy.
And you see the Cyclops itself, the eye looks to be somewhat covered already. You're not sure with what, but it looks to be some sort of goo. And you also see over the body there are multiple, what look to be like small pincers of what look to be some sort of like ant-like heads that seem to be used for causing pain. And you see the Cyclops looks rabidly mad. Like somebody has pissed him off to no end. And as it steps out, the crowd cheers, and the Cyclops looks around confused, unable to really see anything. But then it looks down in front of it, seeing small beads of what seemed to be something living. He looks and points like, "I'm gonna eat you." Well, that's what he says, at least if any of you speak giant. And as he sweeps this, what looks to be a large club up from underneath him from outside in this cage, and he and steps forwards towards you and starts raising himself ready for the next attack. We will go ahead and end today's session there because it would be running overtime with this. And I don't want to, due to the nature of those of us who are ahead of time in European countries, I don't want to hold them too long. However, I do thank you for being here, but we'll go ahead and end tonight's session there, just for the sake of time.
Thank you for today's game.
Thank
It
you
is more than my pleasure, Beth.
very much for today's session.
All right, but for the sake of this, those of you in the stream, those of you who stand by and got to watch our little victory pit, if you'd like to see the second round, you can come by again next weekend and perhaps drop by, drop a follow, drop a like on the YouTube channel at least. But I do hope you enjoyed. I do hope you were as enthralled with the combat as we were. But other than that, I look forward to seeing you. I thank you for being here. And is it Saturday yet?
It is.
So just to confirm, Grape.
Yeah.
Which of these doors is it coming out of?
Allow me to show you.
Yeah, that would be nice. So that way I can plot out what I'm doing for next session.
He came out right over here.
Okay,
great.
good.
Oh, he's not that tall.
Great!
It just
Yes.
keeps getting
Oh
bigger.
my
Not
god.
that tall.
I'm gonna definitely
It's
quit and
about
do my
5
stick.
times the size of us.
So yeah. As Grape said, thanks very much to everyone who's been watching the stream. It's oh boy, today's been a doozy. Today has been a doozy indeed. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, thanks for watching, and in case you want to rewatch any of the old sessions that we've streamed, there's a bit of the campaign missing because I didn't start streaming immediately. Shame on me, I know. If I decide to stream something, I should have done so at the beginning. But I'm a dumb bitch. And yeah, that's that. But yeah, if you want to check that out, here's a YouTube playlist of literally everything that we've streamed so far. There's a bit of watch time there. In case you want to like sink a weekend into watching this shit. Well, to be fair, the campaign itself is pretty fun, but I'm not gonna say that stream quality is the best. I can certainly work on some things. Wish there was a way to get the stats on screen, for example, so you could actually see what we all have. Would probably make it easier. But yeah, other than that, like, thanks for hanging out, and cheers and bye, and maybe till next Saturday or whenever I decide to stream.